Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be Tzeentch led by Prepare for the Bear, facing off against Grand Cathay, who shall be helmed by Martinius here at the Rift at World's Edge. And Tzeentch looks like he's going to be bringing in a whole gaggle of characters. We do have the Changeling, a Sorcerer, as well as Aecold. Aecold has always kind of been a staple against Grand Cathay because of his ability to really just cut through armored infantry, but as far as the Changeling goes, Satang and Kugath are probably the meta transformations, but here we have the Green Knight. Okay, that's going to be very strange. He is a little bit weak against the Dragon character because Zhao Ming and Miao Yang both do magic damage. You have the Crowmen and some decent, I don't think they have any magic that can like single target, so I think he's safe against that. So as long as the Green Knight can, avoid Zhao Ming, then he's going to be still a useful armor-piercing character that's very disruptive, right? But yeah, curious to see. The rest of the army for Tzeentch is pretty standard stuff. It's going to be Zangors. Zangors are great here. Silver shields against shooting, decent enough armor and combat stats to fight Jade Warriors. What's not to love? A couple Marauders in the back. Sorcerer, a Blue Fire to snipe artillery and characters and pretty much anything. Blue Fire is like a cure-all. It's honestly good against most things, with Zangors over here in Vanguard as well. Now, looking at the army of Martinius, it's pretty cool. He does actually have the Fire Rain rockets, which are a tough one to protect for sure. And it looks like Blue Fire is going to be coming in out of the gates. And, oh wow, okay, you see how the Blue Fire split and hit every single one of those Fire Rain rockets? I don't know if I've seen it do that before. Okay. I guess I've never really just looked closely, but I think what's going to be happening is he's going to cast another Blue Fire, and if it splits in the exact same way, it's probably going to be killing every single one of the artillery pieces, which is pretty disgusting for sure. Jade Warriors, a standard. Crane Gunners are a little bit off meta as well, but they can certainly punish whatever they want to hit, as long as they aren't disrupted and dove on by Furies and Cav and different things like that. We got a couple Jade Warrior Halberds on the peripheries, or maybe just one, and that appears to be it for this Grand Cathay starting army. But Grand Cathay is pretty good at defending against Furies. They can use their Empress's Crowmen, as well as the regular Crowmen, Jade Lancers, Peasant Horsemen to dive them and protect their arty pretty well. And yeah, look at that. It destroyed every single one. Wow, that is freaking brutal. So how much Winds of Magic is that? I don't know if they were overcasted, but that is such a value. I mean, that Fire Rain rocket is not cheap. It's like 1,200 gold, right? And that feels really, really bad for Martinius right there. That has got to sting. And now we do see some of the Zangors get jumped by the Crowmen, but they're going to be getting reinforced here by the Chaos Furies up in the sky. So Furies do get in and start to trade with the Crowmen. And the Crowmen are going to be getting some Draconic support as well. So the Iron Dragon moves in, and I think that is going to be crumbling down the Furies pretty quick. And the Crowmen are losing the fight because they took the fight with the Zangors earlier, but with the Dragon there, you can see it's really starting to turn in the favor of Grand Cathay. So double Iron Hail Gunner is going to be called in, as the Green Knight does penetrate into the back line, and it's going to take some time for the Green Knight to actually get a lot of kills here. But yeah, he's a disruptive piece, has good AP, just kind of sit him here, and over the course of like 2 minutes, he'll kill this unit. Then you move on to the next piece, use him to shut down the gun pieces, whatever, right? It's going to be nice. So Empress's Crowmen with the Dragon do manage to take down one of the Furies, but Tzeentch is like, hey man, got plenty more where they came from. So we got more gun units, or more air units coming to shut down the gun units on the other side of the map is what I meant to say. As the Jade Warriors form a bulwark, preparing to hopefully hold against the advances of Tzeentch. So the Changeling going to be running away from Zhao Ming. That's pretty much the only thing you have to do. And it looks like here some of the Zangors are going to be trying to push through the front line. A lot of them do get caught, but they're force pathing through. You can just kind of spam click when with good micro they can move through, but they do end up getting tethered back. The Dragon's able to tear them to shreds, and the Gunfire and Bowfire able to put them in the trash can. So more Zangors sweeping around, but intercepted by Jade Lancers. That's going to feel pretty bad. Prepare for the Bear, really trying to shut down that gun line, but those Jade Lancers and those Halberds going to be making pretty quick work of those Zangors right there, I would imagine. Yeah, immediately losing a lot of HP. Another Blue Fire coming down, and the Blue Fire is such a good spell. I mean, it's literally good against everything. Single targets, elite infantry, chaff infantry, loose, scattered formation gun units like this, just you name it, right? Breath attack going down from the Iron Dragon, going to be cooking some of the Zangors, but their armor should help them mitigate most of that, although I think that was Marauders there. And the Green Knight gets a little bit too crazy, so I think the Changeling may have bit off more than he can chew here, engaging against the Iron Dragon. And Iron Dragon, of course, has crazy healing, so there's literally zero purpose to try and take him down. I think in this matchup, often what you see is going to be Zangors, or Centaurs with Great Weapons. These Tzeentch ones being spammed out, they're really brutal against Grand Cathay, diving, and they pretty much kill everything on the roster. Very, very nasty stuff. But more so, it looks like it's going to be Fury spam. And we're going to see if they can get on top of the guns here. So we do see one of the gun pieces, the Iron Hail Gunners, being hunted by the Furies. Although, are the Furies going to be engaging against the Crowmen first? It kind of looks like it. Or are they going to be diving deep after the Crane Gunners? Not sure. The other Furies here getting headed off by Martinius, and Martinius does intercept it with the big Dragon, and the Iron Hail Gunners are able to stabilize. Although, no, the Crows dive past the Dragon. They get in there, and they do start to rip up these Iron Hail Gunners. The Iron Dragon needs to get back there and help out the ladies. We'll see if he can. In the backfield, the Crane Gunner's still shooting. Don't know what kind of damage they're doing. Let's see what they've accrued so far. About 300 as we see the big Tzeentch army ability going down. Beautiful cast there by Prepare for the Bear. Nails the Iron Hill Gunners, hits the Crowmen, also hits that crossbow unit. That was a god tier cast right there. And honestly, it was kind of looking like Grand Cathay was really going to, bunker bust him here and push him off and start to take the objectives back. But that might have changed the momentum of the game a little bit. 2 or 3 pretty healthy units being nuked into the Shadow Realm. I mean, that is nice momentum. As far as the objectives go, we do see Objective 3 owned by Grand Cathay, but 2 and 1 are owned by the Forces of Chaos. And this is pretty much how Cathay plays in domination mode. They relinquish the objectives early on, and then they grind value, and then in the very, very late game, just like by the hair of their chinny chin chin, they get back there and they get those objectives. So the backfield diving has been stabilized. Iron Hill Gunners are back online here. It looks like there is going to be another blue fire coming down for Tzeentch, and it's going to be going after the Iron Hill Gunners, and they do get nuked. Although they're still online at 3 or 4 leadership, they're going to be staying firm for the Dragon Emperor. Chaos going to be calling in waves and waves of infantry, which is smart because that's usually how you beat Grand Cathay, is you keep them off the objectives. You just keep stuffing them, and Cathay's melee pushing power, whether it's their halberds or their warriors, is really, really bad. Like their damage output, their holding power is good, but their melee prowess of getting up on objectives is brutal. It's very, very difficult, right? I mean, there are a couple Cathay builds that can push objectives, like the drum builds. Sometimes you'll see terracottas, and maybe like on the Jade and Jet Lions, but those things are just so janky in my opinion. But overall, you beat Cathay by playing the objective. So looking at the value, Martinius is pretty well ahead here. We do see Xiaoming now going to be going after Aecold Hellbrass. Not an easy one, and I think Aecold is another character that, unless, I don't know, I feel like he's just most of the time you want to ignore him. Like surround him with a peasant horseman unit and leave him there for like 4 minutes. Just let him battle those peasants and just, waste his time. Iron Hill Gunners and crossbows being pushed back by the Chaos Warriors with halberds. Looks like the Iron Hill is going to be sent off to the Shadow Realm, and the crossbows is going to be trying to lend some fire support, maybe protect the Iron Hill Gunners. Yep, reforming ranks. We'll see if they can get the job done. And the Crane Gunners are also going to be turning and shooting. Looks like they're going to be going something upfield. So Jade Warriors do have Objective 3 as far as the middle goes. It looks like the Warriors of Chaos and Tzeentch are holding on to it just barely as those Marauders arrive. And the Green Knight, it's kind of funny. He does cause terror as well. So Green Knight could get some terror routes here on these Jade Warriors, who are not immune to psychology. Granted, Grand Cathay does have they're basically human dwarves. They have very, very good base leadership. So it's hard to terror route them. You have to get them a little bit beat up before you get those routes off. But still, in a late game situation, it can make a difference, right? So it's a little bit of a green on green action here as we see the Jade Shields battling against the Green Knight. And is he going to get any routes? We don't see it. Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch holding well. Marauders arrive up on the objective, so Tzeentch is holding here. And now I think that Martinius is aware that the objective situation is becoming a little bit dangerous. You really, really, as Grand Cathay, don't want to be in a situation where you have to play the triple cap game. So he's going to be moving up some Celestial Dragon Guard, which I kind of like this elite infantry back cap because it's going to take a disproportionate amount of effort from Tzeentch to deal with this. And Tzeentch is very behind on value, so it's going to be hard for them to match that, right? So Celestial Dragon Guard on the way over. The middle objective here is going to be taken by Cathay. No, it looks like Tzeentch was holding on to it. And here, Grand Cathay holding on to this point. In the meantime, in the backfield, we do see the Tzeentch Sorcerer just kind of cackling and trolling. So I think he's just flying back here, occupying a lot of the gunline pieces, and using his blue fires to shut down anything of substantial value. And here comes Surfing USA, listening to the Beach Boys. Here he comes, and he's gliding on in there. And he's going to be running over a couple of those units. That's actually kind of a cool animation. He legit like ran those archers or those crane gunners over. That was pretty funny. I don't know if I've ever seen that, but back on the objective here, Tzeentch still holding on to it, and we do get the back pressure arriving. So the Celestial Dragon Guard will be battling against Zangors, and Zangors will get wrecked pretty bad. I mean, they'll probably, if they just fought head-to-head, I would imagine the Celestial Dragon Guard would win maybe 70% to 0. So if they just fought to, the bitter end until one of them broke, I think Celestial Dragon Guard would probably anchor it with 70% of their HP alive. They have very good melee defense, they have good armor piercing, and yeah, the Zangors will struggle there. And although, looking at this, it's a little bit closer than I expected. It looks like he maybe has that formation on, and oh, okay, there's a little bit of cheating. So there's Marauder Horsemen throwing javelins into them as well. I was like, normally it wouldn't go like that, but the Horsemen are making the difference. On the outside, we got the bird fight. Alfred Hitchcock certainly quite excited about this one. The birds are being unleashed. So the Chaos Furies battling versus the two Crowmen. I think that the Crowmen might be able to edge that one out. We'll have to see. In the middle, Iron Dragon trying his best to get this objective, but Tzeentch is just playing so well on the objectives. Prepare for the Bear, getting those Marauder Horsemen up in the point. And Aecold Hellbrass, talk about a nightmare, right? Like, even if you bring good quality units in, he's just going to cut them to pieces, and he's got some cool animations. Let's go. Where's that one going to go? Okay, he's doing some crazy stuff here. Let's watch Aecold for a minute. He's got some great animations. Come on, A-Cold, do something. Be entertaining. Okay, he's just going to stand there looking super Super Saiyan. So we'll get back to him a little bit later on. It looks like he needs to be given another attack order because he's not in the mix of the fight. Now, objective number 1 here. Tzeentch is trying to hold on to it, but Grand Cathay going to be getting its Jade Lancers as well as the Celestial Dragon Guard up at the point here. Furies actually ended up winning that fight out there. Pretty impressive stuff. Did they call in another one? I don't think they did. Grand Cathay going to be arriving with some peasants, and now they have a lot of capture weight. The Celestial Dragon Guard are going to be 5 capture weight, and both cav units are going to be 4 apiece against Tzeentch, which has 5, 4, and 4. So I think it should still favor Grand Cathay, especially with the Iron Dragon coming over, getting a nice little breath attack, roasting down some of the Marauders. Most likely going to be getting a terror route. And the Green Knight's in a little bit of danger now as the Iron Dragon does find him. Iron Dragon coming for that booty, and the magic damage is going to be surpassing that sweet 55% Fizz Res, and 15% ward save too, man. Yeah, oh, that's right, because he's got the forest thing. So when he's in the forest here, he gets the passive healing. Oh, that's actually really funny. So there's healing on the Green Knight right now, and he gets a ward save from the Blessing of the Lady. So yeah, that makes him really tanky. I mean, against things that don't do magic damage, that's going to be 65% damage reduction. And is Grand Cathay going to be able to get this objective? Man, Tzeentch is just barely foiling so many of the Grand Cathay plans. Celestial Dragon Guard trying their best to hold on to it. In the middle, it looks like it is going to be taken by Grand Cathay, and Grand Cathay has objectives 3 and 2, and now they're going to be detaching a couple units that head over to this point. And it's a triple cap situation. Grand Cathay does have some time to work with, though. It's not the worst triple cap timing I've ever seen, as the Iron Dragon is able to get some really good routes back here. And the good old Changeling, he's going to try and terror out some of these bad boys off if he can. A lot of Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch throwing their javelins, but the Jade Lancers have stabilized, and Iron Dragon probably going to get the kill here. Changeling definitely in a very bad situation as the Dragon Twin coming for blood. Looking pretty cool. Oh yeah, he's got some cool animations as well. He launches a bunch of daggers in there using some alchemical magic. Always fun to see. 473 HP. If the Green Knight were to fall, aka the Changeling, I think that probably would be GG for Tzeentch. I think the leadership issues would just be a little bit too much considering how close of a game this is. Although, is there some back pressure? Hold up. Okay, this is a great play. Sending Aecold and the Sorcerer over here against the solo Jade Warrior. And oh, the back pressure and the Centaurs of Tzeentch. That is so good. And this is where Aecold shines, right? He's a constant threat on those objectives. And even though Grand Cathay probably is going to be getting this objective, quote unquote, in time, this objective here is going to be flipping. And what can they send? Nothing, right? There's nothing on the roster that's going to be good against these Centaurs of Tzeentch. Like, you need the big dragons to deal with them. I'm actually surprised we haven't been seeing more of those. And they fold up those Jade Warriors really quickly, and that's going to be a lot of capture weight on this objective. So objective 3 is going to be going to the Changer. Once again, the foul Tzeentchian schemes are afoot as the Green Knight on the other side hides in the trees. Great idea, right? You hide him in the trees, and if the game does go super long, he's going to be able to heal up a couple thousand HP over time. So just leave him there, play it cautious. Maybe cycle charge in here and there if you have some opportunities, some freebies, but, you know, no big deal. Tzeentch is slowly losing the fight on the objective as the Iron Dragon does grind down a lot of these units. He definitely needs to go back here and try and route these horsemen off if he can. Terror route's going down to the Zangors here, and the capture weight now starts to flip pretty heavily. Meanwhile, on this side, what we're going to be seeing is massive Helm's Deep on objective 3, so Tzeentch is just going to be cackling here all day, using their Centaurs of Tzeentch and their superior mobility to really shut down Cathay's attempt to get those objectives back. Jade Warriors on their way over, but again, these Centaurs just hard armor piercing, and with the Arcane Charge fully active, they're going to be getting 20% bonus damage, which is nuts, right? So they're sitting at 40 weapon strength. Such an insanely good unit, especially in domination mode. I don't know. I'd be curious to talk to some land battle people, some Conquest players, and see how they do there. But I would imagine that they're a staple in a lot of matchups as well, right? It's so powerful. So Jade Warriors getting cut up here. A couple Chaos Warriors trying to come in and help. Peasants do get a nice charge into the back of the Centaurs, though. They got caught in a bit of a lapsed defensive situation. More Furies on their way in, and is that going to be a Tzeentch army ability? Which one is that going to be? We see the Warp opening up from the skies here. Really cool with all like the Chaos Runes and all that stuff. And it looks like it's going to be the low tier ability, but even still it does okay damage against the Peasant Horseman. Breaks them off. Centaurs of Tzeentch break as well. Iron Dragon going to be coming across to help. And Grand Cathay, wait, have they not gotten this objective yet? Oh my god, it's so close. If they somehow, no, they have to get this, right? They have enough warriors here. And the Changeling, he didn't hear no bell. He's fighting those halberds. I think they're going to get him down. And the Changeling's foul schemes are going to be sent back to the warp as the Green Knight does fall. The Celestial Dragon Guard, maybe falsely thinking that they took out the Green Knight. They're like feeling a little bit bad about that, but it is what it is. Gilles was in the wrong neighborhood. And over on Objective 3, we do see this one being held by Tzeentch. Currently, 100 seconds left on the hold. Grand Cathay coming up here with the Jade Warriors, as well as the Peasant Horsemen. On the backside, Furies intercepting the Peasant Horsemen to get the capture weight off. The Cold Hellbrass is going to be permanently 3 capture weight here as the Chaos Sorcerer trying to distract Zhao Ming. But obviously, he's going to want to run away from that. And maybe they save up for another Centaur of Tzeentch. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold it. They need to hold for another 80 seconds, so a minute and 20 seconds here to get this objective. The only capture weight here, though, I mean, the Iron Dragon has no capture weight, nor do the Crowmen. So the only capture weight is actually the Jade Warriors, right? Who Cold might be able to bully. Is Grand Cathay more reinforcements coming over? The Peasant Horsemen here do win their fight. So that's going to be some heavy capture weight. Marauder Horseman being called in. And is it going to be a Centaur of Tzeentch? It looks like he's just calling in Furies. Yeah, he's just trying to DPS these guys off the objective. But I don't know how well that's going to work, as we do have another Jade Lancer on the way in. Does Tzeentch have any more foul schemes on the battlefield? I don't think they do. And it looks like Grand Cathay, I think, is barely going to flip this. I mean, they have a lot of capture weight on it now. Furies, of course, are doing good DPS. But the Iron Dragon in tandem with all these Horsemen and these Crowmen probably going to be enough to get the objective. Another 40 seconds. And no Centaurs of Tzeentch coming in. Zangors are not going to arrive in time. That is for damn sure. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to have a GG here. Uh-oh. Whoa. This is actually closer. Cold really holding that objective. And we got another 15 seconds. It's flipping. And look at that, man. The Marauder Horsemen get to the objective as well as the Zangors. Uh-oh, and another Zangor comes out of nowhere. Man, Tzeentch with the schemes, they rallied back here and they came back in, providing their capture weight. And of course, it is flipping. Oh my God, what a close loss for Grand Cathay. And Tzeentch is just barely going to get that by 1 second. Insane game. One of the best games we've had in a while. Awesome stuff in a really, really avant-garde build, I do dare say. The Green Knight, I would say he was a bit of a meme, but despite that, he was still able to play very well in every other respect and pulled the game out. You know, if he had brought anything good, it probably would have been a more decisive victory for Tzeentch, but yeah, the Green Knight's pretty meme. 2100 from Blue Fire makes sense. Pretty much wiped out those, and the Blue Fires are very good. Cold was awesome. And only 2 Centaurs of Tzeentch, and one of them saw action. Furies did very good this game. And look at the Cathay build. Cathay had a couple elements that just got shut down. It cost them, right? Like when we saw the Crane Gunners get shut down and do very little, the 1200 gold artillery piece do almost nothing. That's really, really hard to come back from. But the Iron Dragon tried to put that game in his hands here on his back at 4200 value, but he wasn't quite able to get there. GG, well played. See you guys around, and may Tzeentch bless you. Cheers.